What's happening, guys? It's Abhinav from PhoneBunch, and this is a review of the Samsung Galaxy On8, which comes with a 1080p Super AMOLED display, Exynos 7580, 3 gigs of RAM, 16 gigs of onboard storage, and there's a 32 gig micro SD card free with the package as well. We'll talk about the rest of the specs as we move along. Let's talk about build. On the right of the phone, you have the power lock and unlock button, a space to open the back cover. At the bottom, you have the 3.5mm audio jack, micro USB port, and the primary microphone. On the left, you have the volume buttons. Both are sturdy and they do offer good feedback. Now, the frame of the phone is made of metal. As you can see from right here, the phone feels good to hold in hand. The back cover has a slight textured design. It's sort of brushed aluminum, but it is made out of plastic. The back of the phone is removable, as is the battery, and you have 2 separate SIM card slots and a separate micro SD card slot. This is a 4G VoLTE capable smartphone. Now, in the front, you get a 5 megapixel camera. You also have a LED flash which just lights up. It isn't exactly a flash, and you do get an auto brightness sensor with the phone as well. Now, at the bottom of the display, you have capacitive buttons which don't light up, similar to the Samsung smartphones, and there is no fingerprint sensor here. The 5.5-inch 1080p display has excellent viewing angles, great contrast. It is an AMOLED panel, and you can go ahead and play with the color balance of the display. Overall, this is one of the best displays that you can get on a phone in this price bracket. Now, moving to network and call quality, this is where Samsung phones generally don't struggle. The earpiece is loud, the speakerphone is decent as well during calls, and we didn't face any issues with network connectivity. You have NFC available on the device as well, which is always welcome, but no fingerprint sensor. Wi-Fi hotspots, Bluetooth tethering all worked fine, and as you can see, you do have an ambient light sensor. Again, that is a welcome addition. Now, moving to that rear camera, you can quickly launch it by double tapping the home button. Again, it takes images very quickly. We had some issues with focusing on the Galaxy J7 2016. Those issues have been resolved. The camera focuses in better and does take images well too. Images generally turn out slightly oversaturated at times, but yes, you can play with the HDR mode. There is a Pro mode available too, which will get you decent shots. Now, you can record 1080p videos with the rear camera, and the front-facing camera actually is a bit disappointing considering the price point. Now, talking about the rear camera, it does try to enhance colors, but overall it still performs quite well even in artificial and lower light. It's not as good as the Moto G4 Plus, but it's definitely better than the Xiaomi Redmi Note 3. Overall, the rear camera is decent, the front camera is just about average. And in video recording, there is a bit of focus hunting there. Now let's get to audio quality. This is the headset that you get within the box. These do sound quite alright. Audio through the headphone jack is also quite loud. It doesn't distort. Now, the rear speaker isn't really that loud. It sort of crackles at full volume and is very tinny. It's the same issue that we had with the Galaxy J7. And well, you do have FM radio support if you were wondering about that with recording. Now, getting to software, there is no bloat on this device. It's a very clean UX as you see right here. And you have some neat features like locking and hiding apps, and there are some other features which I'll talk about. So you have secure folder where you can hide your apps, you can also store documents and everything. So all of those things cannot be accessed without adding a particular password. And then you can have multiple copies of the same application installed on your phone. Then you also have the S-Bike mode, you have the ultra data saving mode, ultra power saving mode, and we are running Android 6.0.1 on this device with a September security patch pre-installed. Now, out of the 16 gigs of storage, you'll get about 11 odd gigs when you get the device after updating all apps, and well, you can expand that with a micro SD card, and USB OTG is also supported. Now, with 3 gigs of RAM, we had more than 800 megabytes free, even though several apps were running in the background. And talking about some more software features, you also have a single-handed mode which opens up by triple tapping the home button. Now, general performance is good on the device. Apps open up quickly, web browsing also worked out well, and if we check memory management, you can see even after opening so many apps, if I just went back to Chrome, it's still kept in memory. So I didn't face any major issues with multitasking on this phone. But yes, this phone isn't really meant for high-end gaming. We saw that many of the higher-end games including Asphalt 8, Modern Combat 5 did lag a bit on this smartphone. With that, let's talk about battery life. So we were able to get more than 4.5 hours of screen on time on average, sometimes even extending to 5 odd hours. So you can easily get through one full day and a bit more with this phone, which is actually quite great. Now there's no fast charging on the phone, so yes, this takes about 2 odd hours to charge the battery from 0 to 100%. But there are a few neat ways where you can preserve battery life. So let's say your battery life has just gone down to about 15 odd percent. You can set that. It will reserve battery just for calls. It will disable everything else. And you can extend battery life by choosing a particular level, which again either slows down the processor, the brightness of the display, and all those things to preserve battery life. This works all in the background. And well, you can also have your phone forward all your calls when there is no battery life left to a particular number. Now these are actually great innovations, especially the one where you can forward all your calls to a different number. So folks, let's conclude. The Galaxy On8 is a decent smartphone. It has a brilliant display, solid build quality, and overall it does perform quite well. The only place it doesn't perform well is in gaming, and well, the rear speaker isn't very loud and gets a bit tinny. But there's a lot here for the average user. The battery life on the phone is good. In day-to-day multitasking, you won't find any issues. The rear camera performs well. The front-facing camera is just about average. So for about rupees 15,900, and you can get a discount on that, you also get a 32GB micro SD card. This isn't such a bad deal. This phone doesn't heat up and will perform day-to-day tasks without an issue. So folks, that's it for this video. If you have any questions, hit us in the comment section, and as always, have a great day.